Good morning, student. I am your social study teacher. Welcome to your class. Today I am going to introduce first chapter of civics. First chapter is the Indian Constitution. So firstly we will start with introduction. All our actions are governed by a set of rules. Means हमारे जितने भी एक्शंस होते हैं वे कुछ ना कुछ रूल्स के द्वारा गवर्न किए जाते हैं. यह रूल्स डिक्टेट करते हैं हमारे एक्शंस को इन द सोसाइटी, एट ए स्कूल, एट वर्क प्लेस, इन पब्लिक प्लेस एंड इवन एट होम. Rules ensure that the rich and powerful do not dominate the society and everyone is treated equally. Means rules ensure करते हैं कि किसी भी rich या powerful person के द्वारा society को dominate ना किया जाए बल्कि सबको एक समान ट्रीट किया जाए. Some rules are made by the society, some by elders in the family and some by the state or the courts. The system of rules which a country or an organization follow to govern behavior and ensure justice are called law. Means रूल्स का एक सिस्टम जो एक देश या ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फॉलो करती है अपने बिहेवियर को गवर्न करने के लिए, अपने जस्टिस को मेंटेन करने के लिए, उसे हम लॉ कहते हैं. रूल्स एंड लॉज आर एनफोर्स्ड बाय द कोर्ट. दिस मीन्स ब्रेकिंग अ लॉ कैन रिजल्ट इम्पोजिशन ऑफ पेनल्टीज. मतलब अगर हम किसी भी लॉ को ब्रेक करते हैं तो हमें दंड का भुगतान करना पड़ता है. नीड्स ऑफ लॉ. A society without laws and order would be in a deep conflict and chaos. We need laws to avoid these and to maintain peace and harmony. The most important function of law is to ensure the safety of citizen. Means लॉज देश के नागरिक की सुरक्षा को सुनिश्चित करता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यदि आपको कोई हार्म पहुंचाता है, कोई क्राइम करता है तो उसके लिए उसे पनिशमेंट या पेनल्टीज देनी पड़ती हैं. Ensure equal treatment and opportunity means laws ensure that there is equal treatment and opportunity for all, irrespective of differences in caste, religion, and sex. Third, protect from unfair social practices means laws also exist to ensure that unfair social practices like caste system, child marriage, and dowry are not carried in the society. Needed to resolve disputes means in any community there will always be dispute over who should have what part of limited number of resources. Laws needed to resolve such disputes. Next thing is constitution. A constitution is a set of fundamental principles and laws according to which a country or an organization is governed. Means संविधान फंडामेंटल प्रिंसिपल्स और लॉस का एक सेट होता है जिसके द्वारा एक कंट्री और एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन गवर्न करती है. Where a law is created, it is added in the Constitution. The Constitution of India describes the fundamental principles and establishes their structure, procedure, and powers. It also describes the duties of the government institution and set out fundamental rights, directive principle, and the fundamental duties of citizens. In other words, we can say a constitution is a set of rules that guide how a country, state, or other political organization works. The constitution may tell what the branches of the government are, what power they have, and how they work. It also states the right of citizen. The Indian Constitution is the longest written constitution in the world, containing 448 articles, 12 schedules, 115 amendments. The United States Constitution is the shortest written constitution, containing just 7 articles, 27 amendments. Need for a constitution. The need for a constitution was first felt in 1934 by the Indian National Congress. On 11 December 1946, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the permanent chairman of the Constitution Assembly. A drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was set up to prepare the first draft of the Constitution. Between 9th December 1946 and 26th November 1949, the Constituent Assembly drafted the Constitution for independent India. It took almost 3 years to complete the drafting of the Constitution. The draft was published in February 1948 in all leading newspapers to elect public opinion. The constitution serves several important purposes. India is a land of varied people following different beliefs, culture, religion, and etc. Hence, there is always a possibility of conflict and clashes. In order to resolve the same, the one need a detailed constitution covering every important aspect. So, the constitutions resolve every conflict and clashes. Next, guard against the misuse of power by any politician. Means, in a democratic country like India, where there are so many political parties and leaders who exercise absolute power, there is always a possibility that these leaders might misuse their powers. Thus, a constitution has been enacted which lays down rules and guard against the misuse of power by any politicians. Next, it safeguards the interest of minorities and prevents any kind of domination by the majorities. Means ये क्या करता है, जो भी माइनॉरिटीज हैं उनके एक रक्षक की तरह कार्य करता है ताकि जो भी मेजोरिटी ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल है वो उनको डोमिनेट ना कर पाए. फोर्थ, it provides right to its citizen and protect their freedom. Next thing is amendments. The Constitution of India was adopted by the Constituent Assembly on 26 November 1949 and came into force on 26 January 1950. Since then, many political, social, economic changes have occurred in our country, thus not applied to the present scenario. Keep this in mind, our constitution offers flexibility to incorporate changes from time to time for the betterment of our country and its people. Mean amendments क्या है कि टाइम टू टाइम कंट्री में जो कुछ चेंजेस आते हैं जैसे पॉलिटिकल, सोशल, इकोनॉमिक, कंट्री के बेटरमेंट के लिए और सिटीजन के डेवलपमेंट के लिए संविधान में जो कुछ भी परिवर्तन किए जाते हैं या जो कुछ भी मॉडिफिकेशन किया जाता है उसे हम अमेंडमेंट्स कहते हैं. In another words, amendment is a change, addition or rephrasing of something, most often with the intention of improvement. Law and the Constitution. We need a constitution to govern a country efficiently, to ensure that the concentration of power is not confined to just one body. The Constitution has divided the government into three different organs. They are the legislature make the law, the executive implement the law, the judiciary enforce the law. All three organs of the government, including ordinary citizens, derive their power and authority from the Constitution. It is considered unconstitutional and unlawful to act against it. In this way, the Constitution allocates power to different organs of the government and also restricts them. The human right. Every person is entitled to certain fundamental rights, also called human rights. These rights are needed for the complete unrestricted development of an individual. Right refers to the legal, social, moral freedom or privileges granted to us by the Constitution so that we can live our lives with dignity. The Constitution divided the rights into two types. First, absolute right. These rights that never be limited or restricted, whatever the circumstances, are even in a state of war or emergency. For example, the right not to be tortured or treated in an inhuman or degrading way, regardless of the circumstances, is an absolute right. मीन्स एब्सोल्यूट राइट वो होती हैं जो किसी भी कंडीशंस में या किसी भी इमरजेंसी तक में रिस्ट्रिक्ट या लिमिटेड नहीं किए जा सकते. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, राइट टू टॉर्चर्ड. सेकेंड इज नॉन एब्सोल्यूट राइट. Majority of human rights are non-absolute. The Constitution provides for a suspension of fundamental rights during certain circumstances. However, such a suspension automatically ends when the situation ceases or when the President orders it. For example, the right of liberty, freedom of expression, and the right to peaceful enjoyment of possessions can be suspended during the time of emergency. Emergency is a situation in which the head of the state assumes extraordinary power to defend the state from external threats and to maintain law and order within the country. Emergency was declared in India only once in 1975 by the Prime Minister Mrs. Indira Gandhi. Law and dissent. Disagreeing with or opposing a law is called dissent. At times it happens that we do not agree with certain laws that curtail our freedom. We display our anger by protesting against these laws in various ways. मीन्स कि अगर कोई भी ऐसा लॉ बनाया गया है जिससे हमें ऐसा फील हो रहा है कि हमारी जो फ्रीडम है, स्वतंत्रता है, उसमें कोई बाधा पहुंच रही है या हमारे डेवलपमेंट के लिए अच्छा नहीं है, तो लोग जो प्रोटेस्ट करते हैं, अपना एंगर शो करते हैं, उसे हम डिसेंट कहते हैं। ऐसे ही कुछ दो डिसेंट हैं जो इनके बारे में बात करें। फर्स्ट, द सॉल्ट सत्याग्रह। In 1929, Indians protested against the British government salt acts. These acts prohibited India from collecting or selling salt. They were forced by salt by paying a heavy salt tax. Under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, the movement was launched to violate the salt tax. This act of dissent came to be known as the Salt Satyagraha or the Dandi March. Mahatma Gandhi and his Satyagrahis travelled from his ashram at Sabarmati to Dandi in Gujarat to break the salt law. He, along with his followers, lifted raw salt legally. However, the salt tax was not to replaced. Nevertheless, the salt march concluding at Dandi on 6th April 1930 is the Chipko movement. In Hindi, the word Chipko means to stick or to hug. The Chipko movement was launched in the 1970. Its objective was to protect and conserve trees and forests from being destroyed. The villagers used to hug the trees in order to protect them from woodcutters who came from many timber companies. It was a strong uprising against the lumbermen who were taking away the livelihood of local villagers by cutting down the forest. In the process, they were also destroying the natural resources for the forest, thus disturbing the whole ecological balance. The goal of the movement was to prevent commercially felling of trees to protect livelihood and the environment. After the 1970 Alaknanda flood, the government of Uttar Pradesh also realized that it is important to save the forests because they serve as a defense belt. Trees protect the terrain and the people from calamities like flood. Since then, commercially protest felling has been completely banned. Thank you.